Liverpool's Darwin Núñez and Mohamed Salah struck within 3 minutes in the second half in a 3-1 victory over last-place Southampton on Saturday that gave the Premier League leaders 16 provisional points of breathing room at the top of the table. Arne Slot's men have 70 points after 29 games, while second-placed Arsenal have 54 but 2 games in hand. The Gunners play at Manchester United on Sunday. Besieged Southampton are 20th on 9 points. 13 points from safety. Will Smallbone stunned the crowd at a sun-drenched Anfield with a goal for the visitors in first-half injury time, when a mix-up between Reds goalkeeper Alisson and centre-back Virgil van Dijk saw the ball fall invitingly to Smallbone, who scored from an angle. The television cameras caught Slot, who was serving his second of a 2-game suspension, in the stands holding his head in his hands in frustration. It was short-lived, however, as the league leaders thoroughly dominated after the break and Núñez leveled in the 51st minute after Luis Diaz had worked the ball past to Southampton defenders before teeing up the Uruguayan who slotted home from close range. Núñez's goal ended a drought of 10 games without one, prompting fans to chant his name. He drew a penalty 3 minutes later when Smallbone caught him on the back of the ankle in the box, and Salah unleashed a blistering shot from the spot past Aaron Ramsdale to the inside side netting for his first of 2 penalties. "And now you're going to believe us. We're going to win the league," sang the Anfield faithful after the goal. Liverpool's talisman completed his double with a second penalty in the 87th minute after a handball from Yukinari Sugawara. Salah extended his league scoring lead to a remarkable 27 goals for the season, and 32 in all competitions. The afternoon marked Liverpool's only Premier League game in March due to a busy month that features appearances in the Champions League round of 16. The League Cup final and the FA Cup quarter-finals plus the international break. A victory looked in doubt for the first half, however, with Southampton squandering an excellent chance when Matheus Fernandes swung a cross into the box and Albert Grandbeek lunged but could not quite get to the ball. Harvey Elliott, who scored with his first touch in Liverpool's 1-0 Champions League win over Paris Saint-Germain on Wednesday, made an immediate impact coming off the bench in the second half, forcing Ramsdale into a diving save after a corner. Pep Guardiola says do something as Nottingham Forest stunned Man City in Champions League chase. Pep Guardiola is not throwing in the towel on Manchester City's Champions League qualification chances after defeat at Nottingham Forest, but says the sky will not fallen if they do miss out. City were beaten 1-0 at the City ground after Callum Hudson-Odoi caught goalkeeper Ederson out at the near post in the 82nd minute. It was their 9th defeat of the season, the most since 2019-20, and leaves them looking over their shoulder in the top 4 race, with Forest strengthening their own position with a famous win. "We have to win games. We don't win enough games in a row to be secure," he said. "We have 10 games left. We have to win a lot of games to qualify. This is how it is. To find a way we have to play better. We have to do something. It doesn't come from the sky. Of course the situation is what it is. 10 games left. Starting against Brighton next Saturday, international break afterwards, and we'll see what happens." Ederson made a brilliant save to deny Hudson-Odoi, turning a shot onto a post after the Forest man cut in from the left. But the Brazilian made a hash of Hudson-Odoi's subsequent effort from the other side, allowing the former Chelsea winger to squeeze his effort in at the near post. Guardiola was attributing no blame. He explained, "It is what it is. We can't blame a player. I prefer to praise than blame. I didn't see the action. It happens in football, nothing to say." Hudson-Odoi's winner provided a new highlight in a memorable campaign for Nuno Espirito Santo's men. They consolidated their position in third with 10 games to go, 4 points ahead of City in fourth and 5 ahead of Chelsea in fifth. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel, thank you. João Pedro scored a stoppage-time penalty as Brighton finally beat Fulham in the Premier League at the 10th attempt, securing a 2-1 win. Albion looked set to be frustrated by the Cottagers once again, having never beaten them in 9 previous attempts. But Pedro's spot kick at the death settled the battle of the European hopefuls in Brighton's favor and moved them up to 6th, just a point behind Manchester City in 4th. Raul Jimenez's opener for Fulham had earlier been cancelled out by Jan-Paul van Heck's towering header in the first half. These two teams both reached the FA Cup quarterfinals last weekend after extra time and, in Fulham's case at Manchester United, penalties. Whether they were still feeling the effects may have contributed to a flat opening half an hour. Yasin Ayari had a shot deflected wide and Yankuba Mintez's effort was tipped around a post by Bernd Leno, who also held Pedro's drive from the edge of the box. For Fulham, Emil Smith-Rowe's shot through the legs of Van Heck flew just wide. But the deadlock was broken in the 35th minute after a moment of inspiration from Alex Iwobi, who outstripped Purvis Estupinan Indiari down the right wing. Iwobi's looping cross flew just over the head of Van Heck and straight onto the chest of Jimenez. The Mexico striker controlled it superbly with his first touch, before lashing the ball left-footed past Seagulls keeper Bart Verbruggen from a tight angle with his second. But 6 minutes later Van Heck made amends when he was left and marked in the opposition area to Hull Brighton level. The Dutch centre-half arrived at the far post to power a header from Iari's free kick across Lino and in off the opposite upright. After the break, Pedro played a neat 1-2 with Jorginho Rutter in the area, but he ended up in the near post side netting while his shot sailed past the far post. Kaoru Mitoma, past fit despite going off at Newcastle last weekend, and Simon Adingra both had goals ruled out for offside as the hosts poured forward. Brighton boss Fabian Hürzeler turned to Danny Welbeck, who had come on as a substitute to score the winner in successive 2-1 Seagulls victories. But the veteran striker could not complete a notable hat-trick of sorts, sending a presentable close-range header from Pedro's cross wide of the target. Instead, with the 5 minutes of added time already up, Pedro was tripped in the box by Harrison Reed. Referee Sam Barrett pointed to the spot and Brighton finally ended their Fulham hoodoo. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.